Hey, Pete here. Today we're going to talk about how to create a voice AI agent. So voice AI is another way of saying I've got an AI that can actually take a phone call and talk to the person on that phone call. Now inside of Exitloop, we're going to show you how you do this, but some of the things that I show you are principles, and so you can transfer them to many other tools if needed. So first things first, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what you see inside of our software. And so if you come in here, this is what you're going to see. You'll come in, you can click on AI agents, you click on getting started, walk you through the fundamentals. But voice AI will show you the dashboard. And so you can see how many calls, what the sentiment is. And so as a business owner, like if I come in here, I can actually see how my AI agent is doing. And I like to think of AI agents as employees. They should have a spot on your org chart. You should treat them like that, right? Give them a job description, metrics, manage, not just like something that's in the ethers. And then your AI agent list here is where you're able to actually go ahead and create agents, right? So I've got a couple that I've created, Heather and Carl. So I'm going to walk you through the process. And I'm just going to do this live and raw, uncut. And so you'll see everything, what's going on. So we're going to create an agent, right? So we're going to create a custom agent, click continue, and then this takes you to the agent builder. Very simple. 3 steps. We want to name our agent, tell the business, and a lot of these are fields that are going to get put into essentially the agent's knowledge base. So it's going to know what the business name is and things like that. But and the direction. We don't have outbound calls coming yet. Outbound calling is a quagmire of legislation right now. So it's a heck of a challenge to do, but we're getting there. Inbound calls. So when people call in to you, you want them to be able to, 1, get their questions answered, 2, convert into a lead, and then 3, take that lead and convert it into an action, like booked call, sale, something like that. We could do all of that inside of here. So let's go ahead and build this out first. So first things first, let's pick an agent name. I'm going to say Pete. Just use my name. And then let's go ahead and pick a tone. And you can pick all sorts. You go English, choose by gender. I'm a male, so let's do that. And then we can go through and pick Clyde. These are all powered by 11 Labs. Hey, there's a Peter. Perfect. Let's use that. So we're just going to say Peter. This is the same as Exitloop. And hey, you've reached Exitloop. How can I help you today? So that's a decent enough message, right? For when people call in. What are the advanced settings? So this is where we can adjust call settings, maximum call time, idle time, what their behavior is, right? We want them to reply quickly. And then LLM temperature is how creative the AI can be. So keep it low when you're starting out, and then you can up it as you test and go from there. And then we can control playback, volume, if there's any background sound we want to have as well to make it feel more realistic, like a call center or coffee shop or things like that, right? So think about those possibilities. Like this allows you to provide a much more realistic experience for the person on the other end, right? Convention hall, summer outdoor, mountain, static noise, stuff like that. So we're good there. And then let's go to the agent calls. And so we're going to set it to our Exitloop AI. We want to connect a name and email. That's really all we need right now. And I guess we could say contacts issue, but I'm going to skip that for right now. What we can do is we can also trigger workflows when a call is completed. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to keep this super simple and go from there. But if we switch to advanced mode, this lets us then see what the actual prompt is in here. And so we can go through and review this and say, you are agent 962, dedicated customer specialist, blah, 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 right? And then it goes through and explains all these types of things. This is where you're able to actually adjust the job description for this AI employee and give them what they should do, what they shouldn't do, all that type of stuff. Out of the box, these are really simple, very boilerplate. They do a good enough job. You can also add in custom fields, right? So depending on the type of thing the AI employee you're building, we can actually fill in information about calendars, campaigns, contact information, my information, right? Stuff like that. And so we go from there. So that's very simple. And then we can set up actions, right? So what do we want the agent to do for this call? We can transfer it. We can trigger workflow. We can send SMS. We can update contact field, book appointments. We can do all that type of stuff, right? And that's if we want to do advanced mode. And that's simple, super simple. I'm just showing the basics here. We can get an advanced actions here later, but let's take a look at the numbers. So I've got all these numbers that we can have people call. And so I'm going to go and just get the phone number I'm getting lots of phone calls to right now, because we've got all of these phone numbers. They're all attached to different sources, individuals, things like that. You can see these are attached to AI agents and for testing. And I'm going to go find the phone number I'm getting the most phone calls at, because I'm actually getting a lot of spam calls right now. And a great thing an AI agent can do is take those spam calls for me. So I'm going to pause, find that. Okay, so the calls that we're getting are this one. So I'm going to say, great. I think that's my direct line. And I am just going to save it so that when people call in, they're going to talk to an AI agent first. And then the AI agent will take actions from there. And I'm going to let it run. I've been getting probably about 10 spam calls a day on this phone number. And so we're going to see what's going to happen. And we'll just let it run. But that's it. It's that simple. So that's your foundational. In 7 minutes or less, you're able to build an agent, which is excellent. And then we can go through and customize these even further if we wanted to. And I'll do that in later videos. But for now, that's it. Super simple. Now you might be like, wait a minute, Pete, you said knowledge base. Great catch. So the knowledge base is under here. So these knowledge bases, we're able to actually build and pull from all sorts of different things, right? So let's look at this Exitloop one. And we can have it crawl a website. And I have it connected to our website, and it'll crawl that and say, great, let's go ahead and select all one pages. And it'll train bot on that type of thing, right? We can build out our own FAQs. So I can add a source, an FAQ, right? And add in questions and answers here specifically. And then we're working on tables, and we'll be able to upload essentially a spreadsheet of information, right? That you're able to structure it out however you want. It could be, for example, if you're a branding agency, you might create brand frameworks that have, here's what you should say to this avatar in this industry. And you can upload that, and bam, the AI agent now is going to be able to ask, great, what industry are you in? Awesome. And then it'll know exactly what to say, how to say it to that individual. So yeah, so we could resync this. Let's see what other, yep. So we've got all these pages that it isn't picking up. And so we can come back up here and be like, all right, let's do a web crawler, and let's do all URLs in this domain, right? Exitloop, AI, and then extract data. And it's going to go through and start to crawl that. Now imagine, so we've had some clients who they have 800 pages on their website. The AI goes and crawls and indexes all 800 pages. So you can ask any question you want about information that's on the website, and it will feed that back through the chat to the individual, be it AI or voice chat. So how awesome is that? Okay, cool. So it's just completed. Let's view all the pages, and we can say, great, look, it's got all the services, demos, use cases, industries, reviews, contact us pages, all that type of stuff, right? So you've got pages that are terms, they're misnamed. I got to fix that. Anyway, and then we'll go ahead and train the bot on that. And now when people call in, if they have any questions about Exitloop, it looks at all this information, the content that's on these pages, right? And it'll go through and And anything here, it'll be like, oh, okay. So if people are like, well, what are the benefits of working with Exitloop? And we could be like, oh, here's higher sales, smoother operations, enhanced support, more reviews, yada, yada, yada. Right. And it just goes through and it'll be able to tell them those things and work to book an appointment. So that'll be the next thing that I'll dive into in the next video. And we'll go from there. So let's see. That's it. That's how you build voice AI agents. Super simple, right? You don't need to use crazy complex workflows, tools like NAN or Zapier or any of the 100 of voice AI agents out there. Super, super simple, right? And for most businesses, what we have is good enough. And done is better than perfect. That's our mantra. Done is better than perfect. Done gets launched. Launched gets data. Data informs your decisions, and you're able to. He who can decide fastest wins. Is at the end of the day. So that's why we want this. We do have other tools that we use that are a little bit more complex, a lot more control, things like that. But that's for the 20% of the clients who need that. For 80% of our clients, we found that this is good enough and helps them where they need the most help, which is I can't get to the phone. And because I can't get to the phone, my competitors are getting my business because people are just calling and going down the line on Google Maps or something, and just whoever picks up and books the appointment wins, right? And so this helps to answer the phone, book the appointment, capture that lead, create a task for somebody to follow up, lots of stuff like that. So it makes life super easy.